Hello everybody, welcome back to A&O here with John. Look at that clean palette. Yeah, that was my old palette that I always use to clean. So I decided to bring in this very cheap outdoor-indoor palette, and I'm pointing to the colors because it's kind of hard to explain, but basically what I'm using here is ultramarine blue and lemon yellow, and I have two wells, and I'm using both of those to mix my greens. I don't have any green on my palette at all. Okay, I'm not using no red. I made my own Payne's gray, and my own Payne's gray is ultramarine blue with some black in this one. And so I wet it down with some dirty water, and I'm just going over the sky here with some ultramarine blue, not really caring what I do, just dabbing it. I'm only going to be using the Hake brush, two Hake brushes in this, and I'm not using any napkins at all, no paper towels. And so with my greens, I'm making the mountain ridge, a little mountain ridge. And that's ultramarine blue mixed with some lemon yellow. And as you can see, I'm just dabbing along as I come down. I'm kind of shaping the mountain as I go, and just dabbing it, giving it impression of trees and such like that. And you're gonna love this painting. You're gonna love this, and I hope that you paint along with me. So what I'm doing here is, with my Payne's gray, I'm making my river here, okay? Making a river, and off to the side I'll be making a dirt trail. Off here is where my dirt trail is gonna be, where pickup trucks and quad runners and horses, maybe people hiking out in the country. Okay, and what I'm going to be doing in here too is I'm be putting in some fence line, some awesome fence lining in this one. And watch how I put the shades in. Okay, watch this. You're gonna like this, especially if you're new at this. Okay, so this is the pale green. This is the darker green, which means it has more ultramarine blue in it than it does lemon yellow. So I'm basically creating my tree line in the back, and then I'm kind of dabbing around, feeling it out here. Got my river there in the middle, or creek, whatever you want to say, and with a little bit more darker green, very gently, just going up and down that little mountain range or hill range. To me, I call that a ridge. And these watercolors are awesome. These Hake brushes are awesome. See how I bent that? Now watch. I dried it off. And now very gently I'm just pulling the paint. Okay? To get that river, to kind of get some sparkles in that river. And I'm bringing it off to the side. Now, I want you to know that just about every time that you see my hand going down, I have a towel from, it's a hand towel, and I dip my brush in the towel to kind of clear some of the color, and then after I bring it out of the water, I dip it I kind of brush it against my hand towel. So with the lemon yellow here, look at that. Ain't that awesome? Just a little bit. Well, that's a lot of lemon yellow, but just dabbing it here and there. Now look at what's going on. Now you're bringing the shades out. Yeah, that lemon yellow is popping, but at the same time, it's bringing out the dark, right? So, watch this. Okay, now this is ultramarine blue. A lot of, I guess a lot of people, if you don't be afraid to use blue or even blacks or anything like that, but use any color that you feel comfortable with to get your tree colors. I painted that darker because I wanted it to be up front, but I also painted it large. Now look at this. That's pure ultramarine blue. And look at that. I mean, it looks so natural, right? I mean, this is looking natural here. And just barely touching the paper, you know. Just barely touching it. Not worried about mistakes, okay? Look at that tree line. That's still ultramarine blue. It just a little bit, okay, it's about to touch. Here's another tree going up here with ultramarine blue only. And I said, okay, why not, right? So I'm getting excited with this blue because it kind of looks like it's, it natural, right? I mean, look at it. It looks natural. It don't look blue. A little bit more lemon yellow to kind of highlight a few things. So if you get a lot of lemon yellow on there, like that, you could do this. Watch this. Okay, see that? Look at that. I just created a field, a little field out there. And so, I mean, you use the paint, let the paint, work for you. And in many cases, and not all cases, the paint, it inspires me to make things, to create things that I didn't know that I was going to make. Okay? Paint does that. Here I'm using raw umber here. And basically to give the river, more of an earthy tone edge. And off on the left-hand side to kind of give it, some ground up in there on a hill. As well as the trail, right? The hiking trail, the SUV trail, ATV, whatever you want, the horse trail, the trail, the less beaten path, okay? And as you watch this, it's all going to come together. So here's more blue. And with the darker blues, gives it a shade effect. Like bushes that are more darker than, than the grass or than other bushes. And that's why I'm using ultramarine blue only. You can use different colors, Now I'm not happy here with this tree on the right-hand side, but we'll work on it and watch how we'll work on it. Okay, so I want to get a little bit of shrubbery coming off, like maybe hanging over that river there, or that stream, and off there, and maybe a little on the top too. Watch this, right? Watch this, just a little bit. you only need a little bit. That's all you need. It's just a little bit. Now all of a sudden you're getting shades of trees. And bringing it down, you're getting the shape of the ridge, the mountain, whatever you want it to be. It could just be just a hill. And with these blues and darker greens, you can create like how you want it shaped. Like, do you want it coming to your left, downward? Or do you want it coming to your right, downward? And with some more yellow mixed in there, lemon yellow, is a very, very bright yellow. Mixes very well. So with a little bit of Payne's Gray, just a touch. I'm only using the Hake brush here. Okay. Just a little touch and those clouds seem farther away. Okay, and that's what I'm looking for here, because I'm not using no white and I'm not using no paper towels or napkins. So it's some Payne's Gray, just kind of swooping across the river, just gently. It's almost like dry brush here. Okay, the fun part is coming up. The fun part is going to be the fence lines and how you see how I create these trees. I think you're really going to like it. I think you're really going to learn something if you're new at this. Okay? I'm not happy with this tree on the right. Okay? I make no bones about it. I'm not happy with it. I'm trying to lighten it up. I'm putting dark colors in there. So here I am with some more ultramarine blue. Just trying to put some shady parts in there that resemble darker bushes, darker trees, darker patches of land. Okay? And this is not from, this painting is from, like all of mine, imagination. So look at this. Isn't that awesome? Okay, we all know about the card scraping, okay? This is not a credit card. It's not even one of my guitar picks. But it is a fingernail filer. So now what I'm doing, as you could tell, is I'm making my trees come out. Some of them where I couldn't before. I'm putting some bushes, some weeds, some tall grass on the sides. I'm gonna create a lot of things with this. Okay? And over here, more trees. And the paint is just wet enough for me to do that. And look at what happened. I started making a tree, and all of a sudden I was like, oh wow. I think I can make a fence back there. You know what? Somebody owns that property back there. And I'm working around, just dabbing around, testing the waters. Okay? So to speak. Okay, so maybe there's like a path going there on this dirt trail. No, that was too much, so I used my finger to smear it, right? To give it more of a dirty, muddy kind of a look. Watch what I do here. Check this out. You guys should try this. If you have never tried it, try that. So wherever the paint doesn't move, then I just move away from it pretty much. And, in the very background, now you can see definition of those trees. You can see the definition of those trees. They're defined now. And now, what I was thinking about earlier, at after a couple of those trees, I was like, there's my fence. There it is, and here I am making it. That is somebody's property line. And I'm going to take it all the way to the river.